Hi my dear friends, welcome to Market Cycles. So before I begin Market Cycles, I think hope you have gone through risk management part and understood how to calculate the quantities and when to buy the trade and when to avoid the trade, right? So may I know what is the minimum risk reward that you would be looking for whenever you want to enter a trade? Just pause this video and answer me. Thank you my dear friend. So from today onwards you should never ever trade any trade with a risk reward of not less than whatever you said. Okay, so stick to that rule and follow it in coming days. Okay, let me begin market cycles. As a trader or investor, we all run behind to deploy our money to purchase a stock or to enter a trade, right? Just by looking at what, if you are in an investor, you will just see company's performance, balance sheet, this that, right? Or if you are in technical analysis trader or an investor, definitely will look the chart and you will just go and deploy the money, right? Just by looking at moving average, all those things, right? Don't you? Yeah, my dear friends, for a trader to get maximum returns in a trade or an investment, first you need to check whether the stock or that particular index is trading sideways or trending. Did you ever check this before? Okay, let me ask you next question. Did you come across the word market cycles in your trading career? Do you know anything about it? Fine, thank you so much. Now let me ask you two simple questions. Once I ask you question, pause this video and try to find the answer. I suggest you to use your brains and try to find the answer. It can be wrong, no worries, it's only you know what's the answer, right? So pause the video once I ask the question, then think what might be the answer. Okay, now the first question is, why stock or index means nifty or bank nifty, right? Why stock or index goes up? And second question is, why stock or index goes down? Pause now and give me your answer. Okay, now stock goes up to find the sellers, stock come down to find the buyers. Because of why? It's due to imbalance caused in the markets. How many of you understood? Okay, was your answer the same or no? If it is same, well and good. If it is not an issue. Let me continue. So any stock or any index always rotates in 4 phases of markets. So the main 4 phases of markets is accumulation, markup, distribution and markdown. As a trader or as an investor, you should always know all these cycles and how each of these cycles works. If you can master this, then definitely you are going to be a profitable and a successful trader. Okay, now let me go one by one and explain you how do I identify accumulation phase and how to get benefit out of that particular phase. Okay, let me explain you accumulation with charts. As I told you earlier, I told you stock goes down to find the buyers, right? And also I told you market rotates in a cycle, and those are four phases, right? Now let me take example of HDFC Bank here. This is a daily time frame chart. Okay, whenever you want to do analysis for a bigger time frame, I suggest you to use daily time frame. Okay, and if you are a day trader, positional trader, I suggest you to use intraday time frames. Like you can use 60-minute chart, you can use 120-minute chart, and for timing the entry you can use 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Depends on you, but follow only one thing, either 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 60 minutes or 120 minutes. It depends on you. Okay, so you only have to decide it whether to use 120 minutes or 15 minutes or 60 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay, so now let me take example of HDFC Bank to explain you accumulation, right? So what do you mean by accumulation now? What do you mean by accumulation? Any idea you have? So simple definition of accumulation is buying a stock gradually based on the fair valuation, right? Now look at this particular graph. From here to here, HDFC Bank corrected about 15%, close to. Okay, and time it took is about 2 months, close to 3 months. Okay, so whenever something is coming down, I told you in the beginning itself, it will come down to find the buyers. Okay, if a good stock, a good company stock is coming down, what will happen? So if price becomes attractive to big players like fund managers or smart money managers, what they will do? If they find, yes, the company is looking attractive and we can jump in and buy at this price, are they going to buy all the quantities at once or they will buy it gradually? Definitely they will go and buy it gradually, thinking that the worst is over, right? So usually what happens in this phase, right? So when the valuations are very attractive, and generally when the valuations are attractive, what will be the sentiment? Bearish or bullish? What's your answer? So my question is, when valuations are very attractive, generally what will be the market sentiment? Bullish or bearish? So what's happening in this case? So stock is in bearish, right? So let us say they will try and start to accumulate here. I am talking only about big players, not retailers. Okay, to stop stock price coming down, which has fell close to 15%. So when a stock is down by 15%, you cannot expect it to reverse in the same way, right? So to cross that level, it will take time, right? Now, once big players starts to grab it at a fair price, definitely rather than moving downside, it will start to trade sideways, right? Why? Because big players are accumulating and the buying is absorbing all the big selling. I think now hope you got the point why it started to trade sideways. Understand? Right. Now look at the graph closely here. So from here to here to come down, it took almost 2 months for a 15% correction, and the same period it took just for accumulation. Look at this box. This is 2 months closely, right? And look at that. Now when it start to trade sideways, this is the time wherein media or in social medias there will be talks going on. Yes, stock is going to correct again, and this is the time where the retailers, smart retailers, what I can call, if someone is holding this particular stock in their portfolio even after 15% correction, and these are the people who will try to sell all their portfolios by believing media news, right? So that is the time where the big players, fund managers, smart money, as well as experienced traders, they will try to buy it thinking that they are getting it at a healthy discount, right? Now this is the point where overall market sentiment will switch from negative to neutral. This is the point where markets will turn from negative to neutral. Usually what happens, let me explain you with a diagram. So let me take horizontal line here. Okay, and another horizontal line to bottom. Okay, in this case it has not happened, but generally what happens when a stock after a big correction starts to trade sideways because of accumulation by big players, if it wants to move higher, and come out of this accumulation phase, usually big players, those who are accumulating, they let the prices to go below this particular accumulation area. I am talking about this thing. So in this case it had not happened, but generally once they let the prices to go down just to test is there any big seller still wants to sell that particular stock. If it is not there, and this is the point where smart retailers, might be some professional traders, who will throw their towels. I mean to say they will exit all their portfolios, and that's the point where big people accumulate in big quantity, right? After that, what happens? Now stock again comes into this accumulation zone and it will start to move higher, right? Now what I have to do in this accumulation phase as an investor or as an trader? Now let me explain you for an investor, right? If you are an investor, I suggest you to wait for the price of this particular stock to go above this box or accumulation area. If you are not sure, let the price go and close for a week, at least for a week above this accumulation area, and there are chances again it might come and hit this boundary and it will again starts to move higher. What you have to do? Don't do any investment or don't try to buy in this phase. Wait for price to go above this. Wait for 1 week to confirm, and you can again go and check the volume also. Let me show you. Now hope you can see this graph, volume bars, right? So just look at these two bars and look at this volume bar here. So when something is taken out, like let us say this is a resistance of this particular accumulation phase, and look at the candlestick chart, candlestick bar, and look at the volume bar. So volume bar is bigger here, right? So I can say the stock is trying to move on the upper side with a good volume, right? Now what I suggest you, if you are an investor, wait for another 5 to 6 days to get the confirmation, right? Because why I am asking you to wait, because there are all possibilities again it will come and test this particular area and it will try to move higher, right? At that point you can buy, or else you can straight away buy and keep stop loss below this accumulation low if you are an investor. Now if you are a trader, day trader, now this is the time where you can plan your long trades based on these trading systems, not based on the market cycle theory, right? But based on trading systems which you will be learning in when I start market profile. Okay, till that time wait, but at least now understand when should I trade a stock, right? Okay, you have to identify whether it's an accumulation phase or not. If it is in an accumulation phase, I suggest you not to take any trade, better to avoid, right? Go for any other stock, check it whether it is in an accumulation phase. If it is not there, you can plan the trades accordingly, right? Did you understand, my dear friends? Okay. Now, my dear friends, I think you understood how an accumulation phase begins and how an accumulation phase ends. And if you are an investor, I think now you got the point, should I buy or not, right? Now you can go and check the company's balance sheets and their performance, quarterly performance. If all the ingredients are falling at a place, then that's the area where you can buy, either for 3 months investment or 6 months. It depends on you. Now once accumulation period is over, can you tell me what you expect stocks to do? do you expect stock to go upside or downside? I am asking you, do you expect stock to go either upside or downside after an accumulation? If you understood what is accumulation, then definitely you know the answer. It's always, I expect stocks to go on the higher side, right? Now mark of phase will begin, right? Yes. Let me discuss with a graph how I can trade using mark of phase. I will continue with the example of HDFC Bank only, same chart. Now accumulation period is over, right? Let me draw lines again. Let me put these two lines here. Now this is over and this is candlestick chart, right? Now let me show you how stock has to perform, right? So accumulation after accumulation, markup phase. Markup phase nothing but an uptrend, right? So how do I expect stocks to behave in an uptrend? What it has to do? Any idea? So how do I say a stock is in an uptrend? So it has to form higher lows and higher highs, correct? Higher lows and higher highs. Now let me switch this graph to line chart. Now look at here. Just look at this graph, what was happening. So there is no higher high or lower high or higher highs or higher lows, right? So just look at this graph here, and this is also daily chart. So what's happening here? So this is also close to 2 to 3 months, and this is also close to 2 months, and this is also close to 2 months, right? So 2 months it was just falling, and 2 months it was just trading sideways. Now in the next 2 months it is just moving higher, 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 right? So almost in a span of 2.5 months, from 600 to 700 it has moved, right? So 100 points for a stock which is priced at 600 is about close to 17 to 18%, right? So in a span of 2.5 months, is it a good investment? Is it a good returns? What you can expect in a single month, in a span of 2.5 months, right? Yes. So what I have to do? Accumulation phase, I told you not to trade anything. But what should I do in markup phase? I have to always go and buy the stocks. If you are a trader, go and try to trade it on the long side using day trading systems, right? If you are a positional trader, use trading systems, positional trading systems. Go and buy in the futures. Either you can play with the futures or you can play with the options. It all depends on you, right? But use right trading system. Use right trading system, okay, which defines precise entry, precise stop loss and precise target, okay? And you should know how much quantity to buy and how much risk I can take and how much risk and the reward I can expect, right? Then only punch your order, right? So in this phase I can go and buy either options or futures. right? But the trade should be always on the long side, not on the short side, right? So now tell me, my dear friends, after accumulation I am expecting prices to go higher, right? So I told you market rotates in a cycle. Now accumulation is over and markup is going on. Is stock continue to move higher only for a year? So is it going to go higher, higher and higher, higher for a phase of 1 year, 2 year? No, right? At some point of time, if price is attractive for a seller, definitely he will come and dump it. What he will do? He will just dump it, and that's what it will cause, and trade to sideways. Now if you ask me, is this distribution phase or what is this phase? Can somebody tell me? Is this a distribution phase by looking at the graph? So what I can say, this particular area I can say so this is just some 30 odd points, that's it, and time taken is here around hardly a month, right? So I can call this area as reaccumulation. What's the word? Reaccumulation. Now look at this particular graph, my dear friends. Once you identify in a stock like HDFC Bank, it is one of the leading bank in India. I think this is the bank where it has highest market cap, right? And look at the performance, my dear friend, and it is about close to two year period, right? So I agree, in between there are small reaccumulation and some retracements, but all these retracements are not big enough to exit your portfolios, right? And look at all these things, and this is about hardly from 930 to 860, 50 points, not even a 6% correction, right? Now once markup phase is over, right, so it will try to move higher till it find the sellers, right? Now let me go and check where was distribution phase started. Distribution phase. So distribution phase is nothing but all those who bought at the accumulation or in the markup phase, now they are finding and they feel they want to exit their portfolios. Not 100%, but let's say 60-40, right? So what they will do, definitely if big players and the fund managers want to sell their portfolio, they will not sell it in 1 day, 2 day. They will distribute the prices over a period of time. So once they start to distribute their portfolios, that will cause stocks to trade sideways. Like what happened in accumulation, same thing will happen also in distribution, right? So I cannot go and say this is a distribution say. I cannot go and say this is a distribution phase, right? So what I will do, if a trending stock starts to trade sideways, I will be cautious on long side. I will wait for it. If after an sideways, if stock starts to come down, I can think yes, stock started to come down or in an downtrend phase, I will be cautious on long side. But after a pause, again it starts to move higher side, then I have to conclude this was an reaccumulation phase. Now look at here. So once there is a pause, either I should expect price to go higher or it should come downside, right? Now what's happening here? It's moving higher, 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 higher. Even after a pause, I do not have any bigger corrections here, right? Bigger corrections means at least 10% correction to say stock entered into bearish mode, right? So close to 2 years stock was trading higher only, and there were some retracement of 5%, not more than that, hardly 5 to 6%, right? Now look at this particular area where stock was trading at the peak for a period of close to 2 months. 2 months. So this is just about 50 to 60 points, and the time taken is about 2 months. Now either I expect price to go higher or it should come down, right? So what is happening here? What's happening, or what happened here? The price came down about 15% to downside. But how do I trade and how do I identify this is an accumulation, right? So what I have to do, just take recent swing high and swing low. Okay, you can consider this point. Okay, you can consider that point, right? So you cannot expect any trader to identify distribution phase is over in the beginning itself, right? Even if you expect it at the halfway mark, definitely you can make the money. Definitely you can make the money, right? But if you mark a level or accumulation area, or it can be reaccumulation or a distribution fund, the more time you take and lesser the returns you will be generating in trading. Lesser the time you take to identify a phase, beginning of a phase, more the returns definitely you can generate, right? Hope you are following. So what is happening here after a sideways, right? 70 odd points, 7% correction, 7% range, right? Now look at here what's happening here. Can you tell me? Now look at here. So just a small distribution and price is correcting about 10%, right? Once correction is started, after that I should expect price to trade sideways, right? And what is happening here after a significant correction? Again it started to trade sideways, right? Again it started to trade sideways. Once that is taken out, so I told you to wait. Let me mark you the levels here. So if I consider this as upper boundary, let me consider this or this, anything I can consider. Okay, so this is a range of close to 70 odd points, right? And I told you once this is taken out, I told you to wait for a week and test the volumes also, and I told you it has all the odds to come and again test this particular area. Once test is done, you can aram se go and buy. Let me show you one more thing here, my dear friends. If I mark this point, so this low, look at here. So let us say stock is trading sideways, and if I mark before this all these things, if I take this particular low, can you just see they just made smart retail people and pro traders to exit this particular stocks. So once that is done, I told you in the beginning, please go and check. I told you once this kind of stop hunt is done, definitely you expect prices to trade higher only, right? So go and check. So price almost traveled close to 7 to 8% in a span of hardly 2 weeks, right? Now again they are just testing this particular accumulation area. Is there any big seller, right? So what is happening here? Accumulation, then again accumulation here, right? Now let me show you volume bars also here. So once this is taken out, so I should expect good volumes here, right? Now let me go and see volumes. So look at here. So if I place vertical line here, just look at this thing, my dear friend. So I have bigger volume bar here, right? Yeah, this is what I want. So if you are an investor, right? But if you are a trader, I suggest you to wait, right? And look at, let me delete all these things. So look at this bar, and if this is a resistance line, now when this particular stock is going out of this box, so I am talking about this box, okay? So breakout is happened here, right? Look at the volume bars here. Look at this particular volume bar. This is what I want. When something is taken out of a resistance, after that look at the stock performance in a span of 2 months, from April to June. So stock has given you a good returns of 20%. Even though I have some corrections here, but it is not again coming and hitting this particular area, right? Yes. So this is the time where you have to think on the trades on the long side, and this is the area where you should think about trades on the short side. It can be nifty or it can be bank nifty, or it can be any stock which has good amount of liquidity, which has good amount of liquidity. Okay, so if you do this and apply these techniques in a non-liquid stock, you won't get the results. So you can try this for nifty stocks and bank nifty stocks. Okay, don't apply this technique to a non-liquid stocks which has not a good volume, right? Yes. So my dear friends, it's all about identifying whether a stock is moving in sideways or is it in a trending move, right? So based on that, you have to go for the trade based on the trading systems, right? So this is in general I have talked. Okay, so I told you you can apply this to any segment. Even you can try and do it for a currency also, commodities also, but make sure it has good volumes. Make sure it has good volumes, and don't do this on smaller time frames. So best time frame is day time frame. Okay, so to get the maximum returns, either we have to identify markup phase or a markdown phase. Don't do anything in accumulation phase and distribution phase if you are a day trader or a positional trader. If you are an investor, you can apply these techniques. If you are purely day trader and positional traders, I suggest you to not to do anything in accumulation and distribution phases. Okay, in markup phase, always use a trading system and try to only buy. In an markdown phase, always try to sell using a trading system. Okay, now to understand all these techniques, I suggest you to go and apply this technique for all the nifty stocks. This is homework for you. I suggest you to apply all these techniques for all the nifty stocks. There are 50 stocks, and you have to check from 2010 to 2020 till today, till July 2020. From January 2010 to till today, you have to apply this technique and try to mark accumulation phase, markup phase, then distribution phase and markdown phase. Okay, so all the four phases you have to identify. Once if you try for the stocks, then you go and try for nifty as well as bank nifty. For futures chart, I think you might not be getting the chart for bank nifty and nifty. Maybe for spot you will get it, right? So I have to change nifty here. Yeah, nifty till 2000 also I have chart here, and this is straight tiger. Okay, and look at the distribution phase here in nifty. Look at this. and look at the correction. So this is all about during Corona. Alright, now you have to do homework. Don't laugh at this point. I know why you are laughing, right? So I suggest you to do homework for all the Nifty stocks from 2010 to till 2020. Try to markup phase, distribution phase, markdown phase, then again accumulation phase. Okay, and major thing is do it for Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. Okay, once you done that, now go and check your Nifty and Bank Nifty trades where you lost big money and cross check it. If you bought and lost, cross check it whether you bought in a markup phase or in an accumulation phase or in a distribution or markdown phase. Right? If you shorted and again lost a big money, check whether it was in markdown phase or it was in an accumulation phase. Did you understand? Yes, my dear friends. So take sufficient time, do it with the honesty, put all your efforts. Why I am giving so much homework? You should understand the concept well and good. Then only you can go for the trading systems. Right? So it's all about identifying the phase, market cycles. Right? So I believe and I trust you all will put honest effort and come up with the results. Okay, so I suggest you to take minimum 4 days of time. Do 10 stock on each day, 10 stocks, 10 stocks, 10 stock. You can take 1 week also, but I suggest you to take at least minimum 4 days. Okay, and don't sit for long hours, close to 6 hours, 8 hours. No, don't try to do it in a single day also. That will also make you go and blast. Right? So take sufficient time, then come up with the results. Submit your homework to me. I will go through it. Then I will give you access to important topic, that is what? Market profile. Okay. Thank you very much, my dear friends. Put your honest effort. Don't find any shortcut. Okay. Thank you.